is about. I'm a black man trying not to get caught. I'm just trying to solve the puzzle like a jigsaw. You know it's a big world, so easy to get lost. I'm just trying to solve the puzzle like a jigsaw.
Better than I was the last time, baby. Ooh, 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 ooh.
We back.
I'm good. Better than I was the last time, baby. Ooh, 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 ooh.
We back and 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 we back.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We are your favorite friendly neighborhood Casanegros, and we're back for another episode of the Jigsaw Podcast, your favorite podcast, where we talk about all of the things, particularly about how we navigate life, but we talk about the perils, the praises, the productivity, and the pump of circumstance of just trying to figure this thing out. I am Josh Rogers.
I am Bryan here.
And we are here for another episode. Bryan,
yes.
How are you?
Man, it's always a great day to be black. Always.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do if you woke up another culture?
If I would go as something other than black,
Yes.
I'd cry. It'd be a day of mourning.
Listen,
It
oppression
would
and
be-
all, racism
yes.
and all, discrimination and all.
Listen, I don't care what our struggles are,
Mm-hmm.
or presume to be.
Mm-hmm.
I love being Negro,
Yes.
nigga.
It's great.
Even. I love it.
Yeah.
We said it before. I am black and nigga 47. So
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I can't control it. God did it. If you got issues with it, take it up with Him. But I'm glad He made the choice to
Listen,
melanate my skin.
I'm excited.
Mhm.
I'm excited for it. I think we may
We've
talk
been
about
gone
it.
for a minute, huh?
We have been gone.
Uh-huh.
I think was it the beginning of last year we said booked and busy, or was it this year we said booked and busy?
It was last year.
Okay.
But
And we
seems like the
as
thing,
as the new kids would say, we put it into the atmosphere or the universe.
we manifested.
Nigga. Nigga. Yeah, that is an understatement. So what have you been doing for the last 2 weeks since we haven't been here?
I'm finna give me some candy. I missed my lunch, y'all. So I just finished eating a really black meal offline. A lot of people put turkey necks in their food,
Mm-hmm.
to season their food. It is the main meat for me. It's so good, so tender. What I've been doing? I've been out of town for work.
Mm-hmm.
I was in New York all last week.
Uh-huh.
For professional development, like leadership program. Absolutely amazing. The best.
Can you brag on yourself a little bit? Let the people know,
Yeah.
what you actually did.
Yeah. So there was a cohort of 75 of us, like change makers is what they call us,
Mm-hmm.
all flown up to New York to engage in professional development, very specialized intentional professional development with American Express. All expenses paid, up in New York, sitting in the middle of Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
learning and growing with some amazing people. It was the best professional development program that I've ever been a part of, and I've been a part of quite a bit. And it was just great. I met some top CEOs. We're elbow to elbow with some very influential people, made some really great connections, those of which can become friends, but definitely will be lifelong thought partners.
Mhm.
And it was just great. It was great. I was invited to sit on somebody's board for their nonprofit. Some really great ideas came out of it. I'll say this to you, Bryan, because without saying any names,
Yeah.
I would have taken the American Express program was so great.
Yeah.
To me. That I would have traded my seat at the social media thing
Oh,
for a half day at the American Express.
really? It was that great.
It was that great. And we can talk later about how, I left that other thing, I won't say not impressed,
Mm-hmm.
but not the same feeling. Like, I'm grateful for that opportunity. And I think that was great. And I think it served its purpose. But I don't know that everything I needed from that was for me specifically, right? I feel as though God called me to a room to kind of show me what was possible. Not necessarily from, that's just my anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great, man. I love New York. It was my first time being in New York too as a full grown adult. Last time I've been there, I was 16.
Yeah.
So
we love New York.
I love New York.
We love New York. It's a great city. So we both have been to New York in March. We both went to New York in March. Look at us, travelers.
Traveling shoes, Lord.
Got on my traveling shoes.
Ooh.
Glad about that. Did you just have a Capiversary recently? Or is it coming up?
I did. I know you did.
I sure did.
I saw y'all. I couldn't get away from y'all. There was 15 million of y'all, and every time I popped up, it was on my dang timeline. And then one of your LBs posted a picture with me, and I was like, I feel like Nene. I said, how I get in it? See, I ain't even
it might have been was it Jalen? I think posted it. I think it might have been Jalen.
I think it was Smile the brothers.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Joshua, I'm
always around.
You are always around. You know, the frat knows you. But on top of that, you know, we are trying to get you. We are trying to get you to Decatur where it's greater. Mm-hmm. Which, you know, let's come on over.
I'm in Smyrna. I don't even got nothing around. I was trying to think of something creative. But I'm wrapping up my botillion work, so you know, for this season. Mm-hmm.
Well, the paternal year is almost ending.
They already talking about giving me a bigger role for the next one.
That is a mess. That is a absolute mess.
I'm gonna say this online. Well, on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
I will be. I looked up myself on the international scroll.
Okay.
It says that I'm financial nationally.
So you're a bar.
I don't know. I'm not questioning what God did. I know I ain't paid no money. But that's what it said.
He said the debt is paid.
But I am not financial in all the other places I need to be. Mm. When October comes and it's time for us to do that thing, I make a vow.
Yes.
To be officially financial on all three levels.
Yes. Now, will you ever do lifetime membership?
At some point. I'm definitely going to do it for South Haven where I came through.
Okay. That's beautiful.
Just because I don't foresee myself moving back to Memphis, at least not anytime soon. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely do it there just to kind of plant my roots. And and eventually do it on IHQ level as well. That's international headquarters, guys. But yeah, so but you're still fully financial, right?
Those dudes until like during September.
Yeah, it's about to be over. You got to pay that $500 too.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. It's like, and you got a coaching assessment. You got a lot of assessments.
Listen, I'll be out here just paying money, just money. I need more money. I'm speaking right now.
So to answer your question, yes, March 17th, 2017. That's when I came to the frat, and it's been a wonderful 6 years. Learned a lot, met a lot of people. Found out that I don't like a lot of people. Just a number of things. I've grown, you know what I'm saying? It's been great. I've enjoyed the bond overall, and I wouldn't trade this great fraternity for anyone else or any other fraternity in the world. I'm a believer that if Jesus had grown up during these times, and had decided to be Greek, that he would have been a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Doesn't matter what color you are. As long as your blood was red. That's what Kirk Franklin said.
I think the blood wasn't it crimson? Was the blood crimson?
Listen, it flows out that way.
Crimson blood.
Oh my God. And the crimson blood gets rid of the sinful stain.
It does. Somebody said recently, the preacher said the cesspool of sin. I said, whew, that is deep. My God. Cesspool of sin.
I was talking to another preacher. We can talk about this later because it's going to drop next week. I'm super excited about that. And that giant of a preacher said to me, son, Bryan, it took everything in me not to run.
Okay.
He said, when we examine the potpourri of our life, we understand that we are multidimensional beings. I said, man, God, I'm still in that, and I'm not giving you credit. Even the potpourri of our life is so good.
It is.
I've never thought about it. Potpourri is just a mashup of a bunch of things, and it looks kind of messy, but it smells wonderful, and it actually is beautiful when it all comes together. So, it makes so much sense. I said,
that's why that person is. I'm gonna say one of the goats. One of the goats.
Because my goat is Bishop Gilbert Earl Patterson.
No, Gilbert Earl. P.O. Box 1, Memphis.
No, I have not met a human being able to communicate God's words the way that Gilbert, and it's so timeless. I don't care anything about these new. I mean, I respect the new preachers, they illustrations, and everything they come with them. But you give me Bishop Gilbert of Patterson any day. If there was a versus of preaching, nobody's beating. I would line him up beside anybody.
Yeah.
And he's winning. That's just me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly. Like give me one person to listen to with grace, class, dignity, not a lot of, culture bashing, all that kind of stuff. I love it.
But you also celebrated your Capiversary 1 year. What are your reflections after being 1 year in the bar?
Great stuff. Like there's a price, but then there's also a cost, right? Mm-hmm. But it also has great value. So that's kind of the Lord's been dealing with recently, like price, cost, value, stuff like that. So there's there's a price to get into something, right? You got to pay a price. You got to pay money, monetary value, right? Mm-hmm. However, there is a cost. There's work, there's sacrifice, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But there's great value in the organization and the fraternity. I met a lot of great individuals. It's not a networking group, you know what I'm saying? It's not one of the kind of things, but you meet people along the way and you learn some things. You grow in areas where you never thought you would grow. It's just great stuff, man. I think it's one of those situations where it's something you wanted, but didn't know you needed.
My God.
So I feel like I wanted this. Didn't know that I needed it, and anytime I get with my brothers, it's a great time. Niggas get on my nerves. It happens.
They will. Are you excited for your first conclave? We just talking right now, y'all. Y'all just in it.
Yeah.
Are you going?
I'm probably gonna register.
I didn't ask you that because I want.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. I don't know if I really care. $600. Listen, man of God. I've been to Koja conventions. I've been to all kind of AIMS conventions, and there's talking about value. I love my great fraternity, but sometimes I really feel like these classes stuff like that, the value you don't get a value out of a lot of the stuff that you go to, right? Like no disrespect.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you my rundown off the mic.
Yeah,
because I'm not gonna put fraternity business out there too much.
So we'll see what happens. But I'll be there.
I'm gonna say this: have you been to a Province Council or C. Roger Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, so then you've been to Clave.
Oh, all right.
In terms of that side, right?
Enough said.
Yeah, just a kind of like Jurisdiction National, right? It's just bigger, much bigger, grander scale.
Yeah, we can go to just like we go to the Koja Convention, come and AIM. You just want to get to the vendors. That's all you want to do.
Well, no, I want to get to
and see the people.
Glory to God. It's in Florida. Okay. I'm putting that diet back on when we start April 1. Woo! I gotta get ready. I'm a little bit this month, but I gotta get back on in there.
Gotta get back.
I'm glad to hear that. Let me ask you this, because this is something that is typically said, and we can move on to the song of the week.
Yes.
Have all 21 of y'all been in the same room since you crossed?
No.
That sounds about right too.
No. And I think the closest we've gotten since we've crossed 20. The closest we've gotten to 21 is 20.
Okay.
And I don't foresee us getting all 21. And unless it happens sometime soon, which I know we have something coming up sometime soon, I still don't see it happening. I don't see it happening.
Got you. It was only 9 of us.
And y'all still ain't seen each other since.
Not all 9 at the same time.
Yeah.
The closest it's been was 8, and that was like right after we crossed. We got one that don't show up to. He is guaranteed not to show up to anything.
Just don't do nothing.
I mean, just nothing. We don't even hear from him. When we do hear from it, it's random. He popped in the group me about 2 years ago and said, "Hey, y'all, I'm married." I'm like, what?
Oh, okay. Well, bless you.
Okay, well, God bless you. Anyway, that's just how it be sometimes. I'll be with y'all in May. I'm coming to y'all.
To that, yes. Please come to that.
I'm coming to y'all 5th of May celebration.
Yeah, shout out there. So I'm gonna put that on the mic. So those that are listening, especially in the Atlanta area, or not even in the Atlanta area, we have something called the two-day event. This is for Decatur Alumni Chapter, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. We're having 2 events. One is a day, well, both are day events. Kappa Caliente, which is May the 5th, is on a Friday. It's on Cinco de Mayo, so get there. We're drinking tequila and we are eating tacos and all the things. What'd you say?
I said when black people appropriate Mexican culture,
and we do it, but we don't put sombreros and stuff on, so we don't do that stuff.
We must sit on two different timelines. See the niggas and sombreros.
I'm trying to make us look good. Okay, so
I'm gonna be honest about my people.
So we drinking the tequila, we eating the tacos, and all that kind of stuff, eating all that stuff. So that's on Friday, 4:00. So if you're in the Atlanta area, leave work early. Get there. I will put the information on my social media page.
Work away from home days. I already be out in the streets.
I'm gonna be there.
I'm just gonna pull up.
Then the next day, the following day, Kappa Derby. It is. We are gonna be streaming the Kentucky Derby. We're gonna have on the suits and the things and all that stuff. What, you shaking your head like?
I'm just saying that's the one I'm not gonna be at.
Oh, that's a different crowd. Everyone is welcome to both events. I feel like
I ain't old enough to be at the Derby yet.
You not old enough to be at the Derby yet?
I don't think I'm that mature.
Yeah, that's probably our more mature audience. But I'm going to be at both. The one that you want to probably the turn up, in my opinion, like is going to be the Kappa Caliente. Both are going to have DJs. Both are going to have a great time. But I think the one that you probably want to go to, if you're in the Atlanta area, you really want to turn up and do all the things. Not be classy. I think the Derby is a little more classy than the Kappa Caliente. So.
Are non-Kappa members invited to?
Yeah, everybody's invited. It's open to the public. It's open to the public.
I just want to know because
sometimes.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It is open to the public. Ladies, we prefer that you be there more than the men. That's just,
keep those ratios right.
Listen, get those ratios right. I love black men, but I love black women more. So, and other cultures too, but but preferably black women.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about we invite some Mexican and Latinx women? It's their
That's fine too. Because I honestly don't think Cinco de Mayo is even really a Mexican holiday. I think it's like something America just created.
The 5th of May does have significance. It's not Mexican Independence Day, which we
but it has some type of significance.
But it is.
Shout out to the Mexicans too. I grew up with Mexicans.
I'm about to say you grew up in freaking California.
Yeah. Best close friends are Mexicans, so we're
so
good.
Yes, so it is. Cinco de Mayo commemorates the anniversary of Mexico's victory over the Second French Empire at the Battle of Puebla in 1862, led by General. I ain't even finna try to do that, but that's what it was. It celebrates the historic battle win. So there it is.
Also, Cinco de Mayo. Shout out. So we'll be drinking and taking shots in honor of Mexican defeating colonizers.
And that is always a time to celebrate when brown folk won. Love that. Love it. All right, Bryan. So song of the week. Man, you better make it good. Don't you come in here. Let me preface this. We've been gone 2 weeks. Don't you come in here on that other stuff. Don't you come in here with no De La Soul B-side classic off their debut album. We don't want to hear that. Bryan, I'm telling you, I don't want to hear no Common. No, I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear no Harry Coochie music. I don't want to hear none of that.
All right, let me go back to the drawing table then.
I know.
No, it wasn't gonna be hip hop though. It was gonna be gospel music.
Oh, we'll go ahead. I ain't gonna never stop the
I don't know. I did it because I'm
Ellen Baylor. Go back to the drawing table.
I'm thinking you know this song, but I want to see if you know the song.
All right. Yeah, you should have went back to the drum board. What? Bryan, turn this off. You picked like one of his worst songs.
It's in theme.
I don't care.
All right, let me get the people going.
No, stand on it. You chose to sit in that. That goes down in the Oracle of History. That you chose that.
Seasons by
Donna Lawrence has
Donna
an amazing catalog, and that's the song.
It's in theme.
I'm sure there are so many season songs that we could have played.
Listen, name one.
All right.
I was gonna do Boys and Men Seasons of Loneliness, but
well, go goes from worse to worse. Hey man, all right. So who is that? Tell the people what it is.
What is your reaction?
Inform the people. Come on, let's stick with the show.
So it's the song is Seasons.
Yes,
by Donald Lawrence and the Tri-City Singers. And the thing people don't understand is I live to do things, and then Josh respond. I enjoy getting a reaction out of you.
Because I was disappointed. All right, with that being said, understood and accepted, we're going to very swiftly move past this moment and go into the Blessed Report and talk about some black eggs.
Thank you, Lord.
Because, my God.
Yeah.
All right, we're here at the Blessed Report, and we shout out black folks doing great black things. Black History Month is only February, but we patronize and support black folks every single day for the rest of our lives. We do that. We do believe in that. So real quickly in Blessed Report, we're gonna shout out or bless up Ride Fresh, and that's spelled RIDEFRSH. Got rid of the E. Cool stuff. Donovan and Trey Brown. Ride Fresh.
Love to eliminate a vowel.
Eliminate a vowel and add a Z at the end or something.
Or put a V there or something.
So Donovan and Trey Brown, strong black names. Ride Fresh is a game-changing brand of car fresheners, air fresheners. They're trailblazing in the previously antiquated industry, right? Their products have elevated the experience around how a car air is freshened and how it makes you feel, right? So they have some premium designs, a thicker look, and feels more signature. They kind of have some song lyrics to kind of go with either the air fresheners. They actually have over 10,000 monthly subscribers. Nice. So you can actually purchase subscriptions, and they send it out to you as far as what you want. They have different packages, stuff like that. They've been featured on Shark Tank, NBC, Sports Illustrated, Yahoo Finance, Black Enterprise, Afrotech, yo folks, Josh, CBS, Fox, and you can also find them at one of our favorite stores on the shelves. Target.
They're at the O'Reilly's?
They're probably at the O'Reilly's. I'm going to check the O'Reilly's, but I know they're at Target.
Okay.
O'Reilly's Auto Park. That's a jingle. That is a jingle. You can check them out. Website is ridefrsh.com. Again, ridefrsh.com, and check them out on IG as well at ridefrsh. Support black business, support Donovan and Trey Brown, strong black names. And if you're gonna have a black car driving black, might as well have black air freshener.
Might as well.
Let's
put little trees out of business and Ride Fresh. Niggas love a black ice. Speaking of little trees,
I love a black ice.
It smells like cheap cologne, but y'all, it got a chokehold on it, especially black men. It got a chokehold on.
Listen.
I'm a Gaines, Airwick kind of guy myself.
Yeah, me too. I have the
robust.
Yeah, I think is it Airwick? I have fresh linen or something like that.
And new car smell don't ever smell like an actual new car. Just for the makers of it out there.
You know what? Recently, I've been doing the is it Bed Bath Beyond air scent where it's like a little candle.
Spray in my car.
You did what kind of spray?
I keep the room spray in my car.
One of the
room sprays.
Yeah, I need to do that some for breed something like that. But yeah, so that is our.
They like
what is
that?
Fart.
I got two little boys who like to fart on car rides. So I need to get my car clean.
I need to get my car clean because it smells.
Okay. So that is Ride Fresh by Trey and Donovan.
God bless you. Bless up to them. Unfortunately, we do have a rest up. We're a few. So unfortunately, God did not do what, Josh?
You caught me taking meat out of my teeth. Stay behind this day.
He did not stay the hand of death. Unfortunately, we had some losses. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to finish with the actual person that would have been on the rest of the report. So another week, another school shooting. Rest up to Catherine Kuntz, Mike Hill, Cynthia Peak, Holly Scruggs, and Evelyn DeCaus. So rest up to those folks. Normally, certain people wouldn't be on the rest up, But due to crazy events like this, we always got to make sure we speak those folks' names. Unfortunately, things of this continue to happen, and the government continues to do nothing but offer prayers and stuff like that. We're definitely going to at this podcast. We're going to pray and we're going to intercede on behalf of different families and schools and stuff like that. Josh has 2 boys in school. I have a daughter that is in daycare / school. I'm pretty sure a lot of our listeners have kids that are in school as well. And we're planning to have kids in school. And stuff like this is scary. To think that you would send your kid to a place where you feel like it's safe, has all the mechanisms, has the door locks, has the key pads and all that kind of stuff. And to your child not to come home. So that's a terrible situation that's continues to happen. Josh, any thoughts on this before we go to the other person?
So yeah, I don't have any thoughts other than what I saw a clip from Jon Stewart from his new show, The Problem, and he kind of dragged this man for wanting to ban drag show readings, which I really didn't know was a thing. About Jon Stewart compared it to infringing upon people's right to free speech, and he was like, "Yeah, we're not going to allow them to have free speech in front of our children." He's like, "Oh, but this thing with guns, you don't want to." That pretty much calling out the hypocrisy of it all. That's not really harmful, right? If you're a parent, that's your preference, then that's your preference. But in terms of what's actually harming children is guns. And right now is the number 1 killer of kids in the United States of America. It's not cancer. It's not any other sickness. It is literally guns and shooting. So all the way back from Columbine, and maybe this is a greater conversation. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out why we can't have like some type of ban, some type of law that limits the usage of guns. I know Biden has something up now for like assault ban rifles, like banning assault rifles. But I feel like it needs to go deeper than that because everybody ain't walking to school with assault rifles, right? Some people just go, busting out not the John Morant clip. They busting out guns nonetheless. And I just think in Georgia, you don't even have to have a license to carry. That means any regular random person go down to the Walmart or the gun shop or the pawn shop and purchase a gun and do what they will, right? And I think that is very, 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 very dangerous. And clearly it's continuing to play out. This is not the first school shooting. This is not the second, the third, or the fourth, which is within just the last 5 years, right? It is absolutely unacceptable that our government won't step in. And I don't care how much money the NRA is giving. It is not worth the lives of innocent people and children. So
No. And I think I saw another clip too with Jon Stewart, and he made a great point. He made a great point in terms of he was saying, having a gun is a right in the United States, but also voting is a right. But every single American, in order to vote, you have to register. So it's like, where's the line, right? You know what I'm saying?
And if you have a certain type of past, you can't vote.
You can't vote.
Right? You see what I'm saying? So I get it.
Yeah. So stuff like that. And another thing is too, even with the drag, that is the parents' choice. In my opinion, they talk about parents' choice, parents' freedom, other things. But so would you let Tyler Perry read books to your kids?
Listen. If Mrs. Doubtfire was real, all of us would have probably allowed our children to watch that show.
Nothing in that to me perverts kids. You know what I'm saying?
And I think it's what Jon Stewart was saying. It's nothing about that is inherently harmful. Whether you agree, that's your business, right? How you feel about people who dress in drag. But from what I understand, because like I said, I didn't know drag readings were a thing, right? But from what I understand about them, it is very Mrs. Doubtfire-esque. Even for the ones who don't show up as older women, they're not doing the sexually provocative stuff that I hear happens at more traditional drag shows for adults, right? I heard that they are very different. They're very, which I wouldn't assume anything otherwise, right? But we got laws that saying you can't say gay, you can't say woke, you're banning black education, you're banning this, but we can't ban guns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can we find that you know what I'm saying? DeSantis is worried about me saying, slavery was wrong and your white ancestors was trash. I can't say that, but I can walk, but I can go get an assault rifle. I can do that though, right?
And potentially kill somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't make sense, man.
The world is
but definitely rest up to those families, man, and big prayers and continued advocacy.
Yes.
For those causes. So
so rest up to them. Rest up to Lance Solomon Riddick, American actor and musician, best known for playing Saggers Dams on The Wire, Philip Broyles in Fringe, Chief Irvin Irving in Bosch. He's most known really for the recently in terms of films are concerned as the I think he was like the chauffeur, but one of the concierge, I believe, in John Wick. And David Gentry and Angel Has Fallen. So he's been out here doing the great things. So if you've seen The Wire, you know he's the Black Chief and great character.
I've never seen an episode of The Wire.
You know, to each his own.
It happened, and it's not because I didn't was disinterested. Like kind of like how I can't quite catch Snowfall. Like I've tried 3 times. But The Wire, I think I was a kid when it came out, and I wasn't allowed to watch it.
Right.
And I think as that wave continued, I just never tapped into it. But it's on my list of things to one day start and binge. And I'm actually, side note, while we're here, I'm actually letting Snowfall completely in because this is the final season.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna sit through it. I'm just gonna get all the way through it.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna redo Atlanta. I know this is totally off subject. I'm gonna do that.
No, you're right.
Because Atlanta's ending or has ended.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna just go from season 1 and then catch up with the stuff I did.
I fell off with like midway through season 2. I want to say like that, Atlanta.
Oh yeah. I finished season 2. That was the weird season.
Yeah. But I feel like there's certain black shows you just need to watch, even if you dislike them, just for the culture. Like just so you can understand certain things and be, understand certain references and characters.
I missed all the Snowfall conversation, but I'm going to. Well, it should be ending soon. So around May, June, I'll start over and really. I'll probably watch episodes 1 through 5 like 7 times now because I keep trying.
Yeah, it's worth it though. It's definitely worth it.
Okay. Was that the end of the rest up, or we got somebody?
That was the end of the rest of the report. So rest up to Lance.
Well, no,
Solomon
Bryan.
Rick. Yeah.
Bryan, I know you didn't forget. I guess ask me how I've been.
Oh, okay. So, does he count on the rest up, or is he just?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
If we honored Betty White,
we did honor Betty White, and we honored what's the other one? The journalist. What's her name?
Barbara.
Barbara. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do Bobby Caldwell. Okay.
Yes,
so
we will.
We will. So Bobby Caldwell.
I almost got offended.
So Bobby Caldwell, original name is Robert Hunter Caldwell, American singer, songwriter, and musician. Released several albums spanning over several years, R&B, soul, jazz, and adult contemporary. Known for his, honestly, he's really known for crossing over to the black culture. Quick story on my understanding is that he had more of an R&B sound, but he was white, and the people didn't think that he would be able to sell in our culture. So what they end up doing is they kind of did like a reverse crossover to where they didn't put his actual face on some early albums. They did like silhouettes and stuff like that. So us, we love good music. We love R&B. We love soul. He had it. And, we listened to it. It caught fire in our neighborhoods. And then you show up at the concert and you see this white dude singing all of our favorite songs. And you're like, this is good stuff. But you love it because it's good music, right? So, yes, Bobby Caldwell, what you want to do he's been sampled many times. I could have did Bobby Caldwell for the for Song of the Week. I could have done some good things.
And I heard Chance the Rapper has his latest sample. So super excited about what that's going to sound like. Hasn't been released yet, but I think he shared a message. His wife actually shared a message in an interview saying that he had heard of Chance and really liked the sample and all that different kind of stuff. So I'm excited about that. And rest up,
Bobby Caldwell.
White black man. If that's it,
that is it.
Let's bunny hop on over to the Billboard. So this week in the Billboard, one of my favorite storytelling vocalists of all. She probably is my favorite storytelling vocalist of all time.
What stories does she tell?
Oh, about that man who lived in L.A. It was too rough for him, Bryan. You know what I'm saying? And it was so rough that he had to go back to what he used to know. Okay. So you know what he did? He got his stuff. He got on a train. That's a long train ride from LA. And he got on a train to Georgia. And I'm going to tell you what was so important about that. She loved that man so much. She too packed her bag and got on that same train, a midnight train at that, a red eye, and went to Georgia with that man. And then there was another song where she was talking about, you know, how she loved another man. And it was so good, but she knew it had come to the end. But she just couldn't find, I feel God. She couldn't find a way to say goodbye. Nobody tells a story. Brother, I don't even be going through a breakup and neither one of us be speaking to me. That thing, the way she builds that song, bro, it is. And then she finally settles in her spirit. Farewell. At the end, she tells him farewell. Oh, Gladys Knight. Gladys, I love Auntie Gladys. I didn't like that restaurant, but her music. Gladys Knight, them chicken and waffles was dry.
I enjoyed chicken and waffles.
Well, you have. You probably like This Is It.
I've never had this. I think I had this at one time.
I've had This Is It. And I didn't go for the rib tips. I went for the fried catfish. And it was over fried. And then sometimes under fried. I didn't enjoy that either. Anyway, I don't know that I had really good soul food in Atlanta ever. Outside of my own home and the few people who I trust. But Gladys Knight has been honored with the National Medal of Arts from Sleepy Joe. And Knight is known as the Empress of Soul. Receive a medal. Wait a minute. If Aretha's who's the princess? Who's the Duchess? There's some things missing here for her to be an empress.
Empress.
Who's the Lordess?
Queen, Empress. So you got the king of soul is James Brown. Is that right?
I believe that's right.
The queen is Aretha. The empress. So is the empress bigger than the emperor? Right? What is the empress like? What is that level of?
I mean, that's what I'm saying, but I feel like the next level under a queen would be princess.
Yeah.
But maybe princess is always kind of associated with children.
Yeah.
In a sense. I don't know. That's interesting though. All right. Yeah. Empress of Soul received the medal at the White House. The National Medal of Art commemorates artists, art patrons, and groups that have advanced art in the United States. Additionally, it is the highest American award given to artists, art patrons, and groups that have advanced arts in this here country we call the US of A. So shout out to Auntie Gladys. Magic. Before we do that, we were gone for a minute and we still haven't had an episode. But Bryan, you remember the Billboard 200?
Yeah.
And you remember how, it was crazy. Brandy was 197.
197, my nigga.
I'm going to keep putting it out there. Yesterday, also, I posted a video of me jamming to my favorite Brandy song, one of her early songs, Sitting Up in My Room.
Perfect.
You listen to them lyrics, too. Babyface was dreaming about somebody because pray that you invest in my happiness. Like, what? And she said, until you start feeling me, I'm just going to sit here in this room. How you going to find you, sis? But it's a great song. It's a great song. I love it. Anyway, somebody interviewed Chaka Khan.
Oh, child.
Asked her about the list and began to also ask her about Mary J. Blige's version of one of I Will Love You Anyway.
Yeah.
And she said, I told her she can't sing. And when she effed up her song, he was flat. She said, Mary told me she sang a song at 8 a.m. I said, don't about sing a song at 8 a.m. at 8 o'clock in the morning. You don't wake up and just start singing at 8 o'clock. She said, it's okay though. Me and Mary cool. I love Mary. I told her this all to her face. I was just like,
girl.
Meg Shaka. But she gets on the internet later and apologizes, But I'm just like, you might as well, as hard as you just went, you might as well just stood 10 toes down on that because
she was serious.
She was so serious. And then she talked about Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey over me. She's like, Tug, I can't. She started going off. All these people who were like, couldn't sing better than her, can't sing better than her. But you want to know the irony behind Shaka, though? As much as Shaka be the happiest at happy hours, and as much as many other people's voices have aged due to just natural causes or, usage of certain substances, when Shaka is focused,
Mm-hmm.
Shaka still sings.
She can still sing. That's true.
So I don't, because I heard Patty recently, right? And Patty's voice has aged. It's really starting to age. She was on the Jennifer Hudson show, and we're trying to hit them high notes, and they not coming out. And it's understandable, right? Patty's what, in her 80s? She looks amazing, but she's in her 80s, and their voice has aged some. But and Shaka's has too in a sense, but there's still a strength to it that is typically not there, especially for people who have lived lives like Shaka. So I don't know. I don't know if it is her candor and her mean girlness, her diva-ness, that's keeping it strong and tight. But Woman of God still got it. So I just wanted to highlight that before we moved on. I know we got a short billboard. We want to get into this living room, but like I couldn't let that one pass.
No, I
couldn't let it pass. And I think were we here to talk about Angela Bassett not getting her Oscar?
I think we did.
Okay, well, let's bring it up again. She didn't get her Oscar. And I know Jamie Lee Curtis is beloved by the blacks.
Oh.
But no. You know, that's all I'm going to say. And for all you who's giving Miss Bassett, Auntie Angela, all the flack for her facial expression, why can't black people, more so black women, emote? It is okay to have really, really wanted something, and when it doesn't happen, I can be disappointed and still happy for you at the same time.
Oh yeah, you can. Two emotions can be true.
Yeah, like, I'm like, dang, I really wanted this, but I'm like, you know what? But that's my homie. I'm happy you got it.
Yeah.
Like, but my immediate reaction might have been, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I don't think there was anything wrong with it.
No, not at all. Yeah, yeah.
Do you think in this lifetime that Angela will get another role that would allow her to be Oscar nominated and eventually win?
No, because I don't think she'll take any roles that the Oscars love. She's not gonna be a servant. She's not gonna be a
she died in
slave.
So she ain't coming
she ain't gonna be a slave. She's not gonna be a drug addict. You know what I'm saying? She is known to play some classy characters.
What did Viola win hers for? It was that like that 2-minute scene or something, right?
Yeah, where her son was getting molested or something like that, and she knew about it and was like, "Well, at least he's getting some type of attention." I think it was what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, if you look at it, no disrespect to anybody, but if you look at the roles where people get nominated and win Oscar, other than Ray, other than Jamie and Ray, Dreamgirls, yeah. But still, she was the loud black woman who needed to be humbled. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of those characters are kind of like the stereotype of black folks, the black tropes.
I know Will didn't win, but was he nominated for Ali?
I feel like he was.
Okay.
Yeah, but he won off of
his one. The one he won was King Richard.
King Richard, yeah. So in that case, I'm not gonna say every person didn't win off of one of those things, but it's usually
those black stereotype and tropes. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I'm hoping that she gets a role right that puts her in that space. Because her career deserves, and even if she, God forbid, she doesn't win one, hopefully they do something like they did for Sam Jackson, and she gets some kind of lifetime honor, because her art deserves to be celebrated. I know we shouldn't depend, again, two things can be true. We should not depend on white institutions to recognize us and give us the flowers that we deserve. But at the same time, if this is society's standard of excellence, you know what I'm saying? Why not want to have that level of recognition and award? I don't think there's anything wrong for wanting that. I mean, we see Beyonce right now. Beyonce is at peak blackness, right?
Yeah,
and she's very much so. Whether she might not say it, Woman of God very much so wants that Album of the Year award, right?
Yeah,
and I feel like she deserves it, right? She puts in the work. She's done it. We got 2 more acts in Renaissance, so hopefully she gets it for one of those. So yeah, I don't think it's anything. I think 2 things can be true. Again, we can critique and criticize these institutions, but still understand their relevance, right? And want to be in that space of recognition. So,
agreed.
All right. Next on the billboard. Anything you want to add there before we, Bunny hop?
No. I agree with 100%. BT, you know what to do. Like
now, BET. Now you give Auntie her award in June.
You know what to do.
And do we know anything about what's happening with Bet? Is it Tyler Perry? As long as Diddy don't get it, I'm fine.
Yeah, I don't want Diddy. I really want Tyler Perry to get it.
I don't want Byron Allen to get it because I really don't feel like he's going to do anything so innovative that will really.
No, I don't feel like it. And he's not even doing anything innovative. I think he just wants to buy it just to buy it.
I think he's going to own it. He's just going to own it. Yep.
Yeah. I think Diddy, he has Revolt. That's, we see what Revolt is doing. No shade to Revolt, but it's yeah. I feel like Tyler Perry can do the best, but he already owns a lot of BET Plus. He has his own studio. So imagine the original content he could put on BET Plus, like movies and stuff like that. I think he would do more with it. I feel like he has more of a vision of TV film, whereas Diddy doesn't have that. And I also feel like Tyler Perry would bring your best to the network.
I'm interested in what a BET award looks like under a TP.
Oh, probably so good.
It's probably going to be more reminiscent to the NAACP awards at this juncture. Like, I think that'll be the shift.
Yeah, yeah. I would want him to be. I don't want him to buy it and just buy it. I want him to be hands on.
I don't. But and that's why I think people want him, because I don't think anyone foresees Tyler buying BET and sitting.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know that he's going to be like super hands on because he got so much to do, or it could be that when he buys it, he shifts from some of his original content, and maybe this is the blessing.
Yeah.
Maybe he shifts some of his focus into running BET, that he has to get writers and stuff for his content, and then so BET gets better and his stuff gets better.
Yeah.
Look at the circle of life.
Look at
Hakuna Matata.
Yes.
It means no worries.
No.
It's our problem-free philosophy. Shout out Mike Jackson. Hakuna Matata. Because the same man who played Mike Jackson was the same man who played Simple. Okay. All right. But did you hear that Michael Jackson, it was rumored that he wanted to buy the rights to Spider-Man so that he could play Spider-Man?
That does not shock me.
Could you see Michael Jackson as Spider-Man?
That does not shock me. I could not see Michael Jackson Spider-Man.
He Spider-Man would have threw me down. I don't know that I could take that.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Anyway, we getting way off. But Magic Johnson, speaking of Magic Johnson, one of Bryan's people. He's an LA Lakers fan.
Mm-hmm.
And Magic, you can't think of the Lakers. But I'm thinking of number 32. Was just placed. He placed a $6 billion. That's with a B. Dollar bid to buy the NFL team, the Washington Commanders. I want to take a pause here, Bryan, and say if the NFL can change this team, we used to be the Washington football team, and now the Commanders. When are we gonna do that with the Chiefs? That's all I'm saying. If we gonna be equitable.
Oh yeah. They never
the social justice. we got it. We gotta do it on. We gotta do it for, you know what I'm saying, for them too. But we might want to look at the Minnesota Vikings as well, since we're there. But anyway, and we'll become the first black owner in the league's history if the deal goes through. All the conspiracy theorists are already saying that Magic Johnson might, Illuminati might get him, because you know what I'm saying. First black got to make a sacrifice, but we're not gonna speak. We plead a bucket of blood over Magic Johnson's life.
Yes.
All the blood from Calvary, shoot on down to cover this man, because we really do. That would be so great for us.
Yep.
As a community, we would love to see it. So definitely praying and hoping that this goes through. But he will be alongside the 76ers owner Josh Harris and billionaire Mitchell Rales. They officially submitted the massive, fully financed bid to purchase the franchise. So let's see what happens there. What do you think? Do you think Magic will be a good owner, or you think he's just kind of,
So anything Magic does, for the most part, he wins.
Mm-hmm.
Starbucks, he got to Starbucks early. That won. Burger King's won. He had some theaters. They lasted for a certain bit of time.
Did you go to the Magic Johnson theaters?
I did. Yeah. I went to the Magic Johnson theaters, and it was dope, man. Black owned theater. It was just like any other theater you go to. Yeah, I feel like it got played out when movies kind of got played out. But that he was an owner of the Lakers. They won a championship. Owner of the Sparks. They won a championship. Owner of the Dodgers. Won a championship. The soccer team he owns won a championship. Anything, for the most part, what Magic puts his heart, mind into, for the most part, he succeeds.
So you're saying Magic got the magic touch.
Magic has the magic touch, and he's part of the Church of God in Christ. So that's another.
He is a member of West
Angeles Church of God in Christ
under new, very interesting pastoral leadership. I'm going into Josh Ryder's athletic abbreviations. I ain't gonna sing the song, y'all. I know it's been a while, but I don't feel like it, and that's my business. We are in the Final Four. And nobody predicted these teams to win. This is one of those things that's why I actually love March Madness, because the competitive nature of it all is so unpredictable. Memphis got out in the first round, lost by 1 point. It was a very, 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 very tough loss. The whole city was disappointed. We were also super excited about those boys and Penny Hardaway in their future. But right now, this ain't about Memphis. This is the teams that are there. On the men's side, you got UConn, the Huskies, the number 4 seed, Miami Hurricanes, number 5 seed, San Diego State Aztecs, number 5 seed as well. And then FAU, the Florida Atlantic Highs, those two, that's who beat Memphis. So I hope they lose. Was a number 9 seed. They'll be playing to determine who goes to the NCAA National Championship, and we'll see who wins there. I'm going to predict, I'm just throw something out there. UConn is going to take it all, Brian. That's what I'm going to say. That is my choice. That is my pick from your favorite sports analyst. You got to pick who do you favor?
It's because I would have kind of gone UConn. I know UConn is one of those schools that they just have a history of winning. When they get in the tournament, they get rolling. They usually do the thing.
Rolling on the river.
To the contrary, I kind of would like Florida Atlantic to win, only because you can say now if they beat Memphis only lost to the national champions. Like it's, you can kind of give them that kind of thing. But honestly, I don't have a dog in this. Sorry, can we use the term dog in this fight anymore? Can we do that? Is that?
I don't know. I don't know that is who it offend.
Okay,
Peter,
maybe but at this point, I just whoever wins. I think will be great. Not Florida. Let me do that. I'm gonna go either San Diego or UConn. Okay. I don't want Florida to win anything. I don't want I don't want the
championships going to Florida.
That's right. not one.
All right. Well, let's head on over to the women's side. You have LSU women's was a number 3 seed. South Carolina. I'm sorry. Dawn Staley, a black woman, was the number 1 seed. Virginia Tech is the number 1 seed as well. Then Iowa was number 2 seed. Brian, I think you're saying South Carolina. I think we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah. I think South Carolina. Dawn Staley is the GOAT of coaches. Female coaches. It's great that she's now has South Carolina bigger than Tennessee, bigger than UConn, which were perennial tournament winners. Virginia Tech has had a great season. LSU has Angel Reese is a amazing black woman who is probably projected to be one of the top players in women's basketball right now, probably the number 1 pick. Iowa also has this shooting. I can't think of her name, but she's a white girl that can shoot the threes. So this Final Four is probably a little more predictable than the men's. However, South Carolina is so good, and Dawn Staley is such an amazing coach. Her track record is so. Let me go for it. So they played versus LSU earlier this year, and they just destroyed them. So that just goes to show how great South Carolina is. But anything can happen in the tournament.
Anything can happen. Ain't that what Kiara said? So we're going to. She actually has a really good. This album, I can say this album is good.
Have you listened to Ty's album yet?
I haven't, because from what I understand, it's a live version of his most recent album, and his most recent album, it wasn't Victory.
Yeah, it's
I'll say
you're
that.
Absolutely right.
I was just saying, and I know we're supposed to evolve and grow, right? And I don't expect him to be the same time, but I don't know. I don't know.
It didn't. The media, the media said social media said it was a great album, blah blah blah. I listened. I was like, okay,
I'm gonna listen to because I do know. You know how I feel about live albums.
Mm-hmm.
So live albums usually hit a little harder than studio albums. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. So we'll see. Yeah. Musically though, that last album was on point. Like Ty just got a band. That's just out of his work.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this too. I love Ty Tribbett, and I hope that one day we can meet him and have him on the show. But I did not enjoy that Tiny Desk.
Oh yeah. I watched it. Didn't.
And all y'all who hyping it, y'all are just Ty stands. It was not. I didn't. It wasn't Tiny Desk. It was. I don't know. Let me not go there because we'll get stuck. Mm-hmm. Any quick thoughts you have, Brian, about? Because I know, if the battle of the contemporaries, I'm Kirk. You tired.
It was solid. I'm gonna say that.
It wasn't bad, but I just like it wasn't.
There were some missed opportunities. There's some missed opportunities. Yeah, there were some missed opportunities. I don't really think he catered to us originals.
Yeah, and that too.
Yeah, let me say that. I don't think he catered to the originals. But who am I?
Who are me? Anyway, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave this down. And my grandma say, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you go. I wish the vibe of his Tiny Desk would have been the vibe of Life, but with all of his hits.
Yeah. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that vibe was kind of like real chill, but he still could have gave us victory. He still could have, what I'm saying? He could have gave us, what he say? Let your air conditioner, wear your air conditioner, whatever that phrase was. He used to always say. He could have gave us all of that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Life. Yeah,
it was a solid debut album. It wasn't the best. I just want the vibe of Life, not give us Life. You know what I'm saying? But kind of just that studio chill. That's what I mean. Give us what Tiny Desk is, because even Meg Thee Stallion played into the Tiny Desk theme. You know what I'm saying? Like
it seemed like more live show than Tiny Desk.
Yes, and I think that's why I was more like disappointed. I'll just use the word.
Yeah. And going back to Life, and we get stuck on music. Life was one of the best albums I had heard. One of the best contemporary albums I heard until he came out with Victory.
Yeah.
And then he came out. So it was like every album he came out with was just better than the last one.
Until Fresh.
Oh, yeah. And that's when
that was a hard.
And I think after Fresh,
he kind of Greater Than. No,
Greater Than, which is okay.
I really enjoyed Greater Than.
Yeah. But the Bloody Win came after that was like Bloody Win, and it was
now.
That he started trying to do like the whole mainstream. He came out with that song that kind of sounded like Rihanna, and it was like, bro, this ain't it.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think it was that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, that's not it. That's not it.
All right. Yeah. Well, with that being said, understood and accepted, Bryan, let's head on over and have this living room conversation since we back in it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
It's about to change. Do it with some soul in the living.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Puzzle Pieces, for sticking around for the living room. This is for those that are new to the show. This is like the meat and potatoes of the podcast, where we kind of unlearn some things, kind of go deep into some more introspective, some personal things, some things that we feel like our listeners, our puzzle pieces, who are just trying to figure out life like we are, can have those honest conversations to kind of help us grow, learn again, and unlearn some of those things that we have learned in the past. And listen, if you live in Georgia, you know that spring has since sprung because the pollen is eating our tails up.
My God.
It is something. I feel like it's just crazy. But within spring, within seasons changing, things change, right? So we're coming out of winter. Now we're in spring. So I love the great thing about seasons is that it brings about a different change, a different attitude, a different mindset, different hopes, goals, and dreams. So like summer, people will be like, I want my body to be perfect for summer, right? Mm-hmm. Then fall is like, oh, well, I'm ready for cuffing season. You know what I'm saying? And then, the New Year season, then winter, all that kind of stuff. But since spring is here, we're going to have kind of conversation regarding some of the things regarding spring, and not just, wearing certain colors and stuff like that, Easter suits, but really like a holistic conversation about what spring is like. So first thing is we hear the term spring. Well, before I go back, what does spring bring out to you? What does that the season bring out to you?
Allergies. You said it. What? I'm bad. I got bad sinuses, bad allergies, former asthmatic. I'm not as bad as I used to be, but that's because I've, picked up this routine of taking my sinus medicines and my Zyrtec.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just bad, man. Sinuses be burning. Can't go outside for a long period of time. But I don't know. There's something freeing about warmer weather.
Yeah.
And not even get into like all the raunchy stuff. It just, you know what I'm saying? It's just something about, what I think fall and winter fashion is the best.
Yes.
There's something about, there's something about, that warm weather that kind of wants you to be outside, wants you to be free. And kind of, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But yeah, it brings out I almost feel like it releases a pressure. It's like we come out of hibernation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. Like I feel like start wearing less and going out more.
Hey, that's what Drake said.
The weather gets better. I think attitudes kind of shift in terms of the sun is shining more. Of course we need rain out here in Georgia because the pollen is so bad. But the sun starts shining. Easter is in spring, so it's kind of like a more of a
Jesus got up in spring.
It's more of a time of freedom. Like it's more of like the season of we're in a house, we couldn't do anything, couldn't go outside because it was so cold and all that kind of stuff. And now, like you said, it's more of like a freeing. We can go outside. Sure. We can kind of go on picnics, go to the park. It's just more of a free space and free attitude. I think my mind, I think, changes in spring. Spring is actually probably one of my favorite seasons. Spring's one of my favorite seasons because I just feel like it is going from the cold, bitter time frame to more of like a free.
You said your mind changes. Can we lean into that a little bit?
Yeah. So perspective, right?
Okay.
Just the word spring, right? It just gives. I don't know what it maybe the etymology of it all, but it just gives a mental picture of flowers blooming, leaves coming. It's just a life. You know what I'm saying? Like life is kind of starts back over in spring, right? So I don't know if it's just something mentally. It kind of gives me this feeling of like, okay, this is when the world starts again. This is when the season changes again. I'm happy. We're gonna talk about cleaning and stuff like that, and breaks and stuff like that. But it's kind of like, and I don't know, my mom, she kind of raised it when spring hit, the seasons changed. You put in old clothes, you put in your winter clothes in the closet, and you bring out the spring stuff, like the shorts and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like my mind just kind of gets into a place that you said earlier, like a freedom. And then we go forward is remember 2020, COVID hit in spring.
Oh my God.
So
it did.
we went from winter being in the house to stuck during the one of the best seasons of the year.
Oh, but I had a time inside. I was grilling every week.
Oh yes. We made it happen. We made it do. That might be an episode just talking about like 2 years later. Like, what is that like?
2 years later.
Things we lost, things we kept.
Things change. Yeah, I feel that. It's like when spring hits, it's like we made it. Almost like when Hezekiah told Bin Laden. And, but it's true though. It's like, not to say that the winter is dreadful, because I enjoy winter and we both live in the South now, and you're from freaking California. I don't know if y'all niggas ever had a real winter, except this global warming thing where it just like snowed in California.
Oh yeah, recently,
long ago,
but never in my life had a real winter.
So neither one of us, there it is, wants to be the first to say goodbye. I think I probably had more winters than you because Memphis does get cold, contrary to popular belief. But it's not a Minnesota, New York, Midwest type of cold. So it's not like it's unbearable, right? So we can't go out. But to your point, we're not outside. And if you're from the South, Southern folk like to be outside. Even if I know my grandma and them, they used to sit on the porch. And my grandma didn't have a big porch, so you should put her chair under the carport because they ain't have no garage, right? You put it on the carport, you sit out there, you watch. And my grandmother was big in her garden, tended to her lawn. That kind of stuff. As a child, spending summers at my grandmother's house, I stayed outside. So, in the spring, kind of like I said, it initiates that season. Yeah. And here in Atlanta, especially now that on my workout journey, when I can stand to be outside or I take all the precautions to be outside, like running a belt line. Yeah. Was something that, I don't live close to the belt line, so I kind of make sure I plan it out. But being out there is something I enjoy doing. You be around the people, you see the folks. I don't know. It's like, it's almost, remember how I talked about for Christmas? Yeah. I like to shop in the malls because I like the Christmas spirit. I actually like part of that about the spring. Well, I don't want to go into summer yet. I'm sure we'll have an episode that, something around summertime stuff. But like warmer weather, like you say, it brings out a different mood in people. Yeah. And I think, and the I don't understand the psychology of it all. That wasn't my major. I ain't study all that, but I believe there's a psychology behind it in terms of, seasonal depression. That's the thing. And when spring comes, it lifts, right? For some. And I just enjoy that, going and having ice cream. Shout out, Pastor. All those different types of things you're just able to do and enjoy. Like, because I will still, I'm a nigga. I will still get an icy in December. Because
Oh, yeah.
I just want one, right? But it's something different about getting ice cream and sitting on the patio and eating it. You know what I'm saying? Or getting the icy and don't have to run to your car. You know what I'm saying? You can just kind of sip that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're able to enjoy a full range of things.
Yeah.
And then if it ain't raining too much
Mhm.
and the pollen ain't too crazy, it's the perfect blend of weather. Because even though spring and fall have similar temperature ranges, the wind chilled and stuff is a little bit different. So you'll catch that 70, 71, and it is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can just be, it's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some jeans and just a short sleeve shirt. If it get on up to 80, you can bust out them hoochie daddies. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing there. Cause you know I'm a y'all gonna get sick of y'all gonna get sick of these thighs. I'm a 5-inch y'all niggas all summer. Okay.
Listen, if it get over 75, thighs out.
Skies out. Thighs out. Do you understand? But yeah, no, I agree with you 100% in that way that I feel like it initiates almost a rebirth. Does the Chinese New Year start in spring?
I don't know. Let me look at that.
Because I feel like maybe
if it is, then they own it. I know. Chinese New Year is like in February. Looks like.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
let me see the Jewish New Year.
I'm trying to be deep. Well, Ramadan is in spring. I know the Muslims got something going on.
Yes, they might have it, but yeah, like watermelon season is like
you start eating,
like fruit gets better in certain seasons. You know what I'm saying? Like
how I feel about a watermelon.
I know.
When they in season one in my house every week.
Listen,
it gets added to my grocery list, and they get more and more expensive every year. I don't care.
Yeah, but Kroger has
I don't slice them up.
The best one.
I cut them in quarters, 4 quarters, and eat it. Just like put it in a big bowl and just eat it. Yeah, I eat it like my ancestors ate it, man. We ain't got time to be slicing it up and put it in no Tupperware. Don't you know watermelon is about 80%? Well, you put that in there, it get all this. You let that thing sit the way it's supposed to sit. You don't cut up your apples and pre-slice them unless you buy them that way. You just eat an apple, don't you? You don't do your oranges that way. Stop doing your watermelon like that, okay? You're messing up the texture. Go ahead, Bryan.
No, but I think it's season change. It's a mental thing. I think people get together more during spring.
Oh, for sure.
It's like the start of cookout season, all that kind of stuff. So,
can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
You know how we do like holiday food? Do y'all historically in your family, even now, like is Easter a big dinner for you? Since you're talking about spring, you brought up food.
I think it used to be. We haven't done it. We haven't done a big Easter anything since I've been in. Since I lived in my current house, or even I can't. When my parents at the church, we probably did something after Easter, like Easter dinner and stuff like that. But recently, within the last maybe 3, 4, 5 years, we haven't done a big meal on Easter. Even though I believe it should be a big meal, we just hadn't done one. Gotcha. What about you?
I feel like I wouldn't say huge. Like some of our college friends, we all went to church together and stuff like that. At one point, we've come together and done stuff. My mom used to, though. She would cook for Easter almost like she cooked for Thanksgiving. Yeah. A different menu, but still lasagna side dish on
robust.
It is very robust. Cornish hens. It was that kind of a pan of dressing that's gonna come out. Some greens, devil eggs, angel eggs. Stuff
like it should be a thing. I feel like I'm gonna make a tradition. I think, and lamb should be eaten. And lamb should be eaten every Easter.
Hold the lamb.
I'm making it a tradition now. I'm writing it down, and I'm eating lamb. Because the lamb was slain.
Now behold the lamb is a Christmas song and not an Easter one. Just for the saints. Who gonna try to make their youth choir sing it? That is a Christmas song. Now behold the lamb, born into sin that I made. It was on his Christmas album, y'all. The man is theologically questionable sometimes, but that one he was following the text. Okay, I just want to let y'all know. Even though we say the lamb that was slain.
The lamb that was slain.
That song is referencing baby Jesus. Little newborn Jesus, not grown 33 slain Jesus. All right,
listen,
go ahead.
Kurt Frank is great on Easter. Kurt Frank is great Christmas, but his Easter egg is questionable. His Hosanna song is questionable.
Oh, well, first of all, Hosanna's Palm Sunday, so let's get this right. You will not give him but he has Why Don't You Cry. That is theologically sound because it's he has risen. Why are you weeping? He's not dead. That's now Palm Sunday. I can't defend that. But you would not talk about Resurrection Kurt because he had that one right. He got that one right. On Sunday, I give it to you, Reverend. I give it to you. It's a bop, though.
It is a bop. I love Hosanna. I love Hosanna. Hosanna's a great song.
Walked so that Back to Eden could run.
Oh no, bye.
Because Jesus ain't never promised us to go back nowhere until called Eden.
The Eden mindset is the kingdom mindset.
When he shut that thing down, it was shut down, bro. Eden is like Kmart. It ain't coming back.
A blockbuster, if you will.
Right. Planet Hollywood. It ain't coming back. He's talking about a kingdom mindset. If you don't get out of here in your shiny suit,
ain't coming back.
All right. Beautiful guy.
So I think food changes. I think we should. I think I want to do something. I might do some lamb on Easter. So the next thing is I thought we can talk about earlier, cleaning. Spring cleaning is a big thing. Did your mom growing up? Did y'all had to do like spring cleaning? Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you anything like my mom, we did cleaning every weekend.
I was about to say that.
But then during spring, it was like deep clean. What about Robin?
Yep. So we probably did deep cleaning every weekend too. But like you said, it went up a level. We would wash the walls.
Yes.
At the start of spring, making sure the baseboards were clean. Like like when we would clean the baseboards, she would make sure they were clean. Having my dad change the air filters, and I mean all the not just changing clothes out, giving stuff to try that on.
Yeah,
you know, put it in that, taking it to the Goodwill. And then Southern folk, everything that you want, you didn't necessarily want to give away. We have a rummage sale. So and that was a church fundraiser. So you donated, and have a garage sale, or white people say estate sales. Ain't nobody died. We just selling stuff. And but you change. You go from your thicker comforter to your lighter one, and all that different kind of stuff. My grandma changed her curtains out. She had more of the. I know in the winter, even before it was a thing, she didn't have blackout curtains. She had a darker curtain, a thicker curtain. And then in the spring, she would put up her white curtains and all that kind of stuff. So yes, definitely grew up in a home where there was a deep cleaning of every nook and cranny, and and almost a decluttering. That went with that as well.
Yeah, and I would say the same thing. Like within that, we had a decluttering was a thing. Getting stuff that you couldn't fit, shouldn't fit, whatever stuff like that. So even with talking about that, what did you say?
When I got stuff that you shouldn't fit. Fit. You don't dress like you used to.
I've been changed.
Get out them whore clothes.
But let's think about mentally, right?
Yeah. That's funny.
What are some things that you feel like, going from one season to the next, some things mentally we might need to get rid of or clean out at this moment?
Oh man. So it's so funny. So I talked about the American Express Leadership Academy, and one of the things we had to identify a challenge in our professional career. And one of the things that I identified for me personally was capacity. And I feel like what happens with a lot of high achieving, high performing people, particularly Black folk, is that the better you do, the more they give you. And they look at it, and actually I was told this somebody justified that literally Monday.
Wow.
They asked me to be a part of a new project and said, Josh, I know it's another thing, but hey, I guess the positive is that we really value your input. So we wanted to add you to this project. And I'm just like, I typed back because it was a chat. I was like, that's not the compliment you think it is. She kind of laughed. I was just like, so anyway, that program made me think through capacity. So I know we've talked about this before, but asking that question makes me think about it even more in terms of changing my mindset. It's like really being honest about how I spend my day. What I've noticed about myself in particular, like y'all know I love my gym and working out, but I haven't had the capacity to work out during the day like I used to. I just driving 30 minutes to get there, and that's 2 hours. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's 30 minutes to get there, an hour class, 30 minutes to get back. That's 2 hours out of my day. I could have written, depending on the length and the depth of the article, about 3 pieces for just article work. Yeah. Not counting the amount of work I could have done for Habitat as well. So I say all that to say, one of the mindset shifts is like, I don't know that Jessica, the kind of person I am, that my grind is going to ever stop. But I think I am in the space where I no longer feel pressured to just take all this stuff on. And if I do decide, putting boundaries around it. So, like when I got back from New York, bro, I got added to 4 new projects.
Wow.
But in every conversation, the one I had was said that was not a compliment. The other one I said, yeah, somebody said, yeah, and we want to launch this in mid-April. I said, well, if you want me to help you lead this out, that's not a realistic timeline. We need to have another meeting because our time is ending on this one to discuss time. And they looked at me and I was like, I don't have the capacity. I'm not going to give it. I said, I have my own set of priorities right now. Right. And I'm not jumping in because this is yours.
Yeah.
And you want me, like you want me. Right. And I'm grateful and I'm going to give you, what I have, but I'm not able to give you that by mid-April. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. I can guarantee you we can launch before the close of this fiscal year. And that's all I can guarantee. And as we get into details, then maybe we can put a more concrete date on that. So for me, that is the mindset shift I have to have. It's like really prioritizing me and my capacity and understanding that I'm only one person and then figuring out what is it I really want to get accomplished. And finding time and space and navigating my schedule to get that done, right? Because I think sometimes I know for me personally, I'm so busy with stuff that I'm not like I'm slowly chipping away at several things, versus fully completing, one or two things at a time. And I think I want to move to that space a little bit more.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah. And I would probably say something similar, prioritizing peace. Mm-hmm. That's been my current thing that the Lord has been talking to me about. Peace. I don't think peace has been something that I think kind of underrated in terms of we think about joy. Joy is important. But peace is the other thing. Peace that surpasses all understanding and keeping perfect peace. Like, what does that look like? Right. Minimizing any stress or anything like that may, potentially put me in certain places. Finding joy, what I think was my thing for last year. This year, really, finding peace. What brings peace? Having peace in decision making, having peace in relationships, having peace in some of those decisions I made in the past. And I'm the type of person that I'll think about decisions I made in the past or moves I made in the past, and I'm like, killing myself over stuff like that. But I finding peace and rest in the fact of like, nigga, that's not, you can't do anything. You can't change that. Finding peace within that. So that's something I think, when I was talking about earlier, going from winter to spring is like the rebirth, the rejuvenation, the reintroduction of new life. I think within that can be like, a certain level of peace. So
you made me think about a line from one of my favorite worst movies in the world, and that's Pootie Tang. When Pootie got beat up, Chris Rock's character said he was rejuvenated. That means he was juvenated, he lost it, and he got juvenated again. Rejuvenated. That movie's so stupid. It is so stupid. But no, I think, not to be churchy, I do think there is real revival that can occur in spring in our mindset and our perspectives. And I really think, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I think every season, whether you look at it chronologically, whether you look at it in terms of like actual, fall, winter, spring, I think that there's opportunity, right? I feel like there are seasons that God designs for us for sure. But I also believe that there are, like, with the start of new months, new years, new quarters, new, seasons in terms of environment and weather and, kind of things like that. I really feel like there's opportunity to kind of have a fresh slate and fresh perspective. So while spring may have sprung March 20th in the middle of a month, kind of middle of, end of a first quarter, I think that there's, like you said, there's opportunity to kind of understand what that shift meant for environment. And, if y'all want to translate it to modern term, vibes, right? And how is spring gonna be better than winter, right? And what am I doing in my spring to prepare for something? Just think about it just from like, let's make an example that everybody can probably get, even if you're not into fitness, health, right? All right, maybe I missed the winter, but what can I do between April and May, May, June, to be like, be nail bed by 4th of July? I might not have the body, but I will have, you know what I'm saying? So I think about it.
In my body right now.
Exactly. So like, again, how can we use seasons to kind of be markers for achievement and success and goal setting and kind of, maximizing, how we prepare, how we shift. Because maybe there are some things we start at the top of the year that we didn't do. Right. I said I want to read at least 2 books per month, and I've only read in full 2 books this year. Right. And that's just because I haven't had a whole lot of time to just sit. And some of the times where, because I put out so much mentally, when I finally decompress, it is with music or television. Right. I'm not, and when I pour back in, it's during those work hours. And sometimes, unfortunately, that reading is not leisure reading. So anyway, but I told myself at April 1, I'm going to pick another book up, and maybe not 2, but let's see, can I commit to 1 and kind of reset those goals. Right. So I think there's a revival, there's a resetting that happens as well. If we choose to lean into it, I think there's opportunity for that.
Yeah, I agree. And second part, and I'm gonna kind of merge our Pockets of Joy segment within the living room.
Okay.
Another big part in spring, other than like spring and forward and spring cleaning, is really the spring break. And that is a major.
I'm gonna let you finish, because I got. Maybe that's a great. I'm gonna say it here. Go ahead.
No, I feel like you got something on your chest.
I want you to go ahead.
So spring break is extremely important, and really finding out the importance of the breaks and stuff like that. And with kids, they say, well, it can only last so long, so they got to have this break here, break there to kind of redo their mind. So I feel like when it comes to spring, even as adults, I think we should find opportunities. May be out of college, may be out of school, but really find opportunities to take a break, maybe a week off of work, take some mental breaks, go stay in a hotel, whatever it is, to find the opportunity to get yourself a break from doing any type of work. What do you got to say about that?
Well, there's a perfect segue, because you talked about school. You niggas who are like 25 plus, stop going to Miami, you pervert. That era is done. It is over. Now, because I'm in the frat and, I'm not old, right? But Bryan, you even got young LBs.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure that you're loosely connected or adjacent to people who are right out of college or college age and things like that. So I see some of the stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
They look like they're having a blast.
Yeah.
I am completely disinterested in being in Miami, Florida, between like second week of March to like third week of April. Ain't nothing there for me.
No,
unless I was going down there for like work and I happened to have traveled, for whatever conference or whatever was dumb enough to schedule something during that time. That is the only way you'll get me in Miami, because like there's nothing for me. First of all, my whole situation reveals that that's not for me. I'm married, I have children, right? That's just not it. But even the way I kind of have a good time and turn up is not that, right? Yeah. That looking at that sometimes gives me a headache, and I question, particularly my brothers who are going down there to kind of, to be honest, prey on these young women and young men, whatever your preference is. And that they're young, that they're susceptible because they're under the influence a lot. They're probably high. They're consistently drunk. And I just think it is a terrible look, right, for you to be at your big grown 30-some-year-old age. I saw somebody. I know they ever been at 32. Talking about Miami for spring break. Nigga, you ain't even finished college. Why are you in spring break? Like, I'm trying to understand that. That's what I want. That one was burning when you said spring break, because I'm sick of it. I'm still saying it because the time is still here.
Yeah, nah.
The other part of that is that I agree. I do think children need a break. I made that face because, like, in Georgia, they just had a midwinter break in February. How many breaks do they need? My God. And it was a full week, but yeah, I think we all need a reset, right? I think even as adults, I remember when I did work in the office, I would get up and walk the block.
Yeah.
Like, your employee handbook says, oh, you can take 15-minute breaks. I'd be like, you got to tell me twice. Listen. And I would just get up, and it was a Starbucks 1 block up from my old office. And so much so they knew me in there. They knew my order, or they knew, a combination of 1 or 2 things that I would get. And so I just feel like, and to me, goes into this thing I'm really big on these days, is build a community. But it allowed me opportunity to just, in that 15 minutes, to kind of reset. Yeah. Right. Because it was a break from work, it was a break from my desk, a break from sitting. And I think, just like you said, in general, like, even though I was in New York for professional development, it broke up the monotony of my week. right? So I was in a brand new city. I was living like the New Yorkers. I was walking everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You know, all the things. The 2 nights that I had time to kind of go out and explore, like I was like, this city really don't sleep. Like these people are out and doing the things, and it was just fast paced and moving. And I don't think that I could ever live in New York, but I do appreciate, you know, the city and what it brought, and I appreciate that difference. So so even beyond that, I'm even more excited to have some intentional time to that's what, you know, we was alluding to it earlier. So, you know, Tampa, it's gonna be a time with our brothers, and we're gonna celebrate and enjoy the bond, enjoy brotherhood. And somewhere in between and around there, you know what I'm saying, I may or may not take another, even if it's just a staycation, right? Take some time to just be and enjoy, because I work really hard, right, Brian? You work really hard, and I looked at my calendar. I'm out of town at least once a month until December. Yeah. At minimum, once a month. Yeah. And these ain't like a 1-day trip and turn around. Like these are minimum weekends. I mean, minimum 2 days, right? Yeah. Sometimes 3, because like some of the stuff, kind of like New York, it started on a Monday night, so I have to leave Sunday. Yeah. I got a trip coming up. I'm in the Twin Cities at the end of April, and it starts on Monday at 8 a.m. So I can't, you know, not too many flights won't give me there before there, right? So I got to get there. And then I got a trip in Chicago. I'm gonna be in Chicago 3 times this summer, and I heard Summertime Shy. Summertime Shy is amazing. But yeah, but even in those trips, I know we've talked about this before. How can I leverage that? Right, go up there for the 1 or 2 days, and then extend it another 2 to 3 days, and just be in the city. You know. So anyway, I think you're absolutely right. We have to take that time intentionally, and if your schedule is extra busy, how can you leverage some of those times? I think, Brian, you do it every time you go to the Bahamas for work. I've had friends who like have been fortunate enough to go to like Hawaii for work, right? And they'll get there 3 or 4 days early, or they'll leave 2 or 3 days later. Like even in New York, the cohort ended Thursday, but after we followed each other on social media, I saw that some of them didn't leave till Sunday, right? Because everybody just went back to work Monday, right? So like those type of things, I think, again, even if you're busy, it's finding that space to make yourself and make the break and the reset a priority. And I think that is something that spring, again, can encourage us to be able to do.
Yep, I agree. Yep. So, spring is spring cleaning, spring break. Before we, I guess, wrap this portion up and kind of, you know, close out the show and some other things, any goals? I think y'all kind of missed some goals earlier, but something you want to leave a lasting point regarding spring that is taking place?
Just a tip: don't wear all white with black shoes.
Oh, don't ever do that.
That's it. Because I know y'all blacks, we love all white.
I love all white parties.
It's about to really hit now that it's warm. Because, you know, some people are still like, oh, we don't wear white in the winter. But now that it's spring, y'all really finna put it out. Don't you put on them black shoes. And don't you wear all white shoes with it either. Oh. Because you look just as country in your all white shoes. God bless you.
That's a good one. I had nothing to say after that.
God bless you. Noobs, especially you older ones, that you put them leisure suits on and them white loafers that you got from D&K. Don't you do it. Or them black Stacey Adams lace-ups. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
They're going to do it.
Use some brown or some other color. You coordinate. If you need some help, I'll send you a Pinterest board. But don't you do it.
They're going to do it.
Yeah,
they're going to do it.
Sorry to the men.
Well, this is our living room, and if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or something you feel like, you know, there's a certain topic you want us to talk about, please feel free to let us know. Hit us up our DM or email us at askthejigsaw@gmail.com or thejigsawpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll definitely do those things. And we kind of already did pockets of joy. Do you want to kind of add something to that, or okay?
I'm happy.
All right. So I guess at this point we're going to go to the P.O. box. Let's have something there first before I say we read mail. All right, we have something in the P.O. box. Let's do it.
Let's get into it.
All righty.
Oh, yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Wait, hey, Mr. Postman.
All right, good people. We are here at the post office box, and Rodney Jenkins did what he always does to bring us our letter here on time. But before we get into it really quickly, I want to let you know that you too can be featured on the show by writing into Ask the Jigsaw, that is ASK, the Jigsaw, at gmail.com. We will do a few things, possibly read your letter out loud. We will then give you a pseudonym because we respect your pronouns and your privacy. And then we're going to give you the best non-professional therapeutic advice that you can receive on Cicely Tyson's internet. So with that being said, understood, and accepted, Brian, who do we have and what do they want?
All right, pronouns.
Yes.
She, her.
Oh my 5 miles. Shirley Murdoch.
Shirley Murdoch. It's morning.
Don't you get, because Bryan, that's a good one too.
That's a good song.
It's so adulterous, but it's such a great song.
And we slept the night away. Okay.
It happened.
And why Kelly Price in the music video? She's singing "Dead in That Man's Face."
Listen,
So
Kelly sang
messy.
this song though.
She sang it though.
She sang it.
So messy. All right. So, sorry about the Kelly Price. Shirley Murdoch writes. Writes. Hey guys, my 35th birthday is coming up, and I'm planning a big trip. I usually host something rather small each year to celebrate, but I really want to go hard for milestone years. My current invite list is 12 people, and they all got ample notice. The trip is October. We will be going to Costa Rica, so I'm making sure everything is in place. My childhood best friend, who's invited, just got laid off in big tech layoff surge. He received a generous severance and is an excellent saver. But despite that, I understand what it means to be without income. So I did not pressure him into coming. We talked about one-on-one. I offered to cover his flight because I wanted him to be there. Do you know this nigga took offense? He accused me of thinking he was broke or a charity case, when in reality I explained to him that I did not want my trip to be a burden, so I would help alleviate one of the biggest expenses. This was over 2 weeks, and things was over 2 weeks ago, and things we left completely unsettled. It is time to start making payments with a travel agent, and we haven't spoken. How should I proceed? Should I follow up and just let it go because he is still in the group thread with all the pertinent information? At the end of the day, I don't want to lose my friend, but I also believe this needs to be addressed. Any advice would help. Best, Shirley Murdoch.
Well, it is deep, but it ain't that deep to me.
Yeah.
I think you should retry the conversation and just figure out why, right? So if you said he had a lucrative severance package, I mean, he was making a particular amount of money.
Yeah.
If he's also a big saver, that also means that he's financially well fit.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a certain pride he has around his income and his savings. So, but I also feel as though if y'all were childhood best friends, I think he should have known anyway that you didn't mean any harm. I also understand what it means to be recently laid off and that to be sensitive.
Yeah.
So it could be a combination of those things. So I think if your friendship is as deep and as real as you allude to in this letter, there's opportunity for you to just have another conversation. Because if he's still in that text thread, you didn't say whether he was responding or not. He does have all the pertinent information.
Yeah.
And I think you can just explain, like, bro, I get it. And I didn't want to offend. I was thinking about you, right? Because you said you understand. So maybe I was laid off at the top of the pandemic, right? So I know what it means to rely on unemployment, because I was there when unemployment was nice and fat, and I was also there when unemployment went back down to $200 a week, right? And there was no money. So I know what it means to be surviving. I also know what it means when I was younger. Bryan, you can attest too. You weren't making a whole lot of money at all, and even though you was working, you still was broke.
Yep.
Right. So I absolutely get it. And Costa Rica, probably based on how you describing it, ain't no cheap trip. So I get it. I get it. But I will say, you offer, and personally as a friend, I would not have felt offended. If I didn't want it, I would have just turned it down and said, no, I'm good. Really appreciate you, but I'm good. I'm going to think that I'm going to believe, without knowing your friend, that the layoff is still fresh.
Yeah.
And maybe there was just a sensitivity around that caused him to respond in such a way. But I do think you need to have a conversation, one, to save your friendship, because I don't think this is worth ending it. But two, because niggas got to get these numbers so we can make sure we know who's going.
Without a doubt. Yeah. I agree. Have the conversation again. If anything, you can apologize and say, listen, I wasn't trying to offend you or anything like that. I just know this trip without you is not the trip that I want to be on. So I wanted to ensure that, you had it. I wanted to let you know also that if you felt like if cost was an issue, just know as the friend that I am, that I got you. However, since you said you got it, you good. If something down the line happens and you potentially can't,
offer still stands.
The offer still stands. And then let it with the balls in their court. Because I there's nothing like being on a trip and you ain't got it. Right. I'd rather just not go to the trip if I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be, that person where everybody taking shots or buying bottles or eating anything they want to eat, and you sitting there just like, well, I'll take the salad.
Ain't that the worst when you got a penny pinch? There have been vacations I've declined, Bryan, because I refuse to penny pinch out of town.
Yeah, because I just if I can't go there and do all the things, might as well not even go.
If I'm a hustle, I'm a hustle in Atlanta. I'm not going out of town to hustle. And if I choose not to indulge, whether they're shopping, eating, drinking, whatever it is, that is my choice.
Yeah.
Not because I can't.
Yeah.
Right? I might look at something and say, I'm not spending $600 on that, but that's my choice. And, I can very much have it. Right?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you 100%. It is much better for you to be in a, but to your point, now that you have no disrespect, let him make that decision because it's ultimately on him. So if he wants to spend his severance on that, if he has a good savings, maybe his savings was so robust that he can live the next 6 months without a job. Yeah. And the severance is what it is. Because if it's a lucrative severance, then they may have paid him for the next 3 months, 4 months. Yeah. So he may be good. Who knows? But I think at the end of the day, what we're both saying is have that conversation.
Yep. Do it.
Yeah, well, just do it.
Thank you, Shirley.
Yeah. Let us know what happens too. I want to know.
Please do.
It's interesting. And if it gets messy, please let us know.
Yeah, we love mess.
We love. Oh, and if y'all was white, we would love it even more because I love white mess. Y'all know I love white mess. Speaking of Bryan, have you ever, real quick? I know we need to move on, but have you ever watched Schitt's Creek?
Yes,
I hear good things about it.
Okay, so I'm not gonna overhype it. It's supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah,
I haven't had any laugh out loud moments, but it's solid.
Is it funnier than like the Frasier's, the Office?
It's on that level. It's on that level. It's like, okay, imagine Frasier and his brother go poor. That.
Okay.
You know.
I mean, you see a white mess and I don't know why they hit me. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the irony of these wealthy folks or privileged folks no longer having their privilege and how they survive.
Losing it all.
Yeah, losing it all. Yeah.
That sounds thoroughly entertaining. White people losing it all. Listen, I'm all about equity, and that's what that screams to me. All right, let's go to the greater conversation.
Let's do it.
Bro, let me talk. Oh, let me talk.
All right, we're here at a greater conversation. Thank you for sticking around. For those that are new, this is the part of the episode, where we get some things off of our chest. I say it all the time that tomorrow's not promised, so cuss them out today. So Josh, is there anything you want to get off of your chest this week?
Actually, no. I felt like I got the gun thing off. I got the all white with black shoes off. I gave a few greater conversations throughout the episode. So take those as you will. The only other thing I think I would add is that, John Moran is back.
Yep.
And I still believe that the reaction to what he did was an overreaction. Mm-hmm. Shout out to our last episode. Not to say that he should not have deserved consequences, right? But I do think, and I agree, our friend Chris said that, maybe this was a wake-up call. But but as we have seen, right, it has passed. He's back playing, and we're almost acting like it never happened.
Yep.
So yeah, I want us as a community, as a society, to just be able to rest in the duality of understanding he was being a stupid kid versus he was really causing harm, right? And maybe he needed a wake-up call versus, I think I heard somebody say he should have missed the rest of the regular season and all this other kind of stuff. Bruh, for doing this and being at a strip club, like, you know what I'm saying? And but again, he was doing some stuff like drinking the Casanegros straight out the bottle. Like, but here's the thing though, Bryan.
It's 20-year-old stuff.
I'm going to let it go. How many times we were young, or even today, when you turned up, you drinking that. So yeah, we saw that on one line, but did we see Ja drinking like that consistently?
Right.
And I'm not saying that he wasn't, because he could have been down a bad trajectory, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nothing has ever alluded to the fact that Ja's an alcoholic.
No.
Or struggles with, drinking. We may have just caught him turning up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And how many times have Meg Thee Stallion over here riding the boat, driving that popular all the time. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm not here to justify anything. All I'm saying is that, just like with Dwayne and Whitley, one of the justifications I give for their toxic relationship was that they were between the age of 20 and 23 years old when all this stuff happened. So it don't justify what they did, but it is perspective if they were young and immature. And I think that is what's really at the core of Ja. And just like all this has passed, I wish this same grace that's here now would have been extended then.
And not to bring other people in this stuff, but Michael Jordan, who's considered the greatest of all time, was known to smoke, drink, and gamble the night before games. Like,
did you see his 40. Eyes in The Last Dance?
That thing's just yellow as, and dropped 40.
It looked like a Coachella desert. Them eyes, that is years of tobacco.
Yeah, so that's it. I don't have anything. I'm gonna choose joy for the most part.
Right.
So I think that's it. That's a great conversation. Anything else, Josh?
Nope. But with that being said, understood and accepted, this is another episode of the Jigsaw Podcast, your favorite podcast, your favorite Casanegros. We want to thank you so much for always tuning in, always listening. I know we say this quite often that we got some big things coming, but we really do. We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago where we're putting some things in motion, and I think Bryan and I just need to, outside of our larger team, he and I need to have a reset. Well, not necessarily a reset, but make sure we get these things in place because we got some super exciting things we want to drop for y'all, and I'm hyped about y'all tapping into that. It's going to take us to the next level, and it's going to be real good.
Let's do it. And again, thank you for all for listeners. Public people out there. We would be great without you, but we're greater with you. We appreciate you. Continue to follow us on all the social media platforms, the Jigsaw Podcast. I am Josh Rogers. I am Bryan Hare. We're on Facebook, all the things. Continue to engage in our stories and stuff like that. Shouts out to our team, Jasmine and Chris. We appreciate everything that you do. If you have any questions, feel free to ask the Jigsaw at gmail.com, and we appreciate all the things and love that you support that you've given us throughout the years. Josh, before we let the people go, let them know what they need to do.
Yeah, all you can do is what you can while you can in the very best ways that you can, but in all you're doing, please do not get caught with your work undone. And that is a wrap. Love y'all. See y'all next week.
Love you. Peace.